Hi, I'm David, half of David and Megan, franchisees for Newport in South Wales, and we opened our first shop in September 2010. We opened our franchise after having looked at different franchising throughout the previous 12 or 18 months. We'd franchised for some 12 years prior, so we're already convinced that franchising is a great model for us. It was then finding the right industry, and within the industry it was finding the right company. We did quite a lot of research. In fact, we went to a number of our now competitors to see what they had to offer, but without doubt this was the best option for us. It was a reasonably low entry level compared to some of the others, and the returns on investment are very, very good and very swift as well. Once we decided to join Cashbrokers, the next stage for us was to learn how to operate the system. Again, previous experience had told us we were buying into a process, so we needed to understand the process. So the training took place up in Grantham at the head office over a couple of weeks. Initially it was classroom-based training, and then we put that training that we learned into action after working in the shop in Grantham for a week or so, and that set us up in a strong position that when we did open our shop shortly after, with a bit of assistance with the franchisor for the first week who was with us the whole of that time, we were really quite equipped and quite surprised that we were able to cope with most things pretty much from beginning. It was all about confidence, but once the confidence came, we would then felt we would find really a tribute to the training. Once we eventually opened the Newport shop, clearly there was a lot of trepidation, but with the support of the franchisor with us on those first few days in particular, it gave us the confidence. So yes, we were still nervous. In fact, we were still nervous for a good few weeks after, but really you couldn't beat just doing it and getting on with it. And once we got used to it, I have to say we thoroughly enjoyed it. So the nerves for the first couple of weeks soon disappeared, but yes, they were there. We're now 10 months into the business, and it was very recently time to look at the figures. And the figures without doubt are exceeding our expectations. At month 10 we've exceeded what we wanted to do by month 12. On the basis of that, we're now looking to expand to a second shop and possibly even a third one. But no, we're very, very pleased indeed with the return on investment. Hard work, has to be said, but very worthwhile. What's been fun about the business is that none of our customers are the same. Of course, we have those coming in just to cash their gyro checks, but we're very close to solicitors firms and so on and so forth. The range of customers is absolutely incredible, and it never ceases to surprise me who's going to walk through the door next, because I really do not know. The customers will all use different services. Some will just cash checks for their expenses, others will cash it because it's their gyros, others will take off very expensive watches just to get them through to the end of the month. You never know what's going to come next. Equally, you never know what the customer's going to be next. When we first opened, I wasn't sure what it would be like to work within the industry, or whether we'd find lots of the troublesome sort of individuals that perceptions would tell you would have. But actually, the customers are so wide in their breadth and variety, it's meant there's been a real pleasure. We're actually giving a service to the local community and helping people really with their cash flow. And if I was to sum up what we do, it's help people with their cash this week or this month. And the response that we get from people when we're helping them is overwhelmingly very, very positive, and it makes the job really quite fun. On a day-to-day basis, we do need support from time to time. Whilst it may not be every day, though it certainly was at the beginning, whenever we do have a query, it's normally resolved immediately, and the lady Anita, who's on the phone most of the time, is able to have the answer at her fingertips. But if the answer isn't immediately available, they'll come back to us very, very quickly. And when I say quickly, I'm talking about just a couple of minutes. And we've certainly never had a situation where we've had a query that's not been able to be resolved. Having franchised for 12, 13 years prior to meeting this particular franchisor, I have to say the way the family, and that's really what it is, this franchise business is run by family, make you feel as though you are part of a family. They're very involved, very hands-on, very supportive, very encouraging, and I have to say, an absolute marvellous franchisor. If somebody was interested in joining the franchise, certainly I would encourage them. But first of all, I would encourage them to go and have a look at the marketplace, see what else is around, because I think only when you have a look around can you really see what the value that this franchise can offer you. So the advice would be, look around, have a look at the others, and then come back and see what you've got with this particular franchise. The return on investment has really been absolutely wonderful. Clearly it took a little bit of cash to get going, but when we looked at the alternatives that I may have mentioned earlier, this is really a relatively low entry model, but we're already now getting a return on our investment. On a profit and loss basis, we were running a profit virtually from the beginning, but now we're really making some big headroads into that capital. As I say, we're only in month 10, so a terrific return on investment, and I don't know of any other business that I've been involved in that could do it in that sort of timescale. Our future plans over the coming months will certainly be open at least one more shop, and probably more than that. The return on investment really is so good, it's an opportunity really not to be missed. But we're going to keep analysing the figures as we do with the franchisor and make sure we don't make any mistakes whatsoever in our judgments. But as I said earlier, all the signs and the returns are very, very positive. So how many shops are we going to open? I don't know, but it'll certainly be a multitude of them.